Russia is now saying it has opened an investigation into claims of alleged mass graves of civilians supposedly killed by Ukrainian forces. But according to our reporters on the ground there, these claims are almost certainly false and appear to be a part of a broader false narrative to justify an invasion. White House correspondent MaryAlice Parks, along with ABC News national security and defense analyst Mick Mulroy, joining me now for more. So MaryAlice, let's start with you. What can you tell us about these claims that Russia found mass graves?
Well, Kara, like you said, I think the international community is treating any new claims from Russia with incredible skepticism right now. And specifically, they are saying that this could have happened in those eastern regions of Ukraine where there's already a lot of Russian separatist control. And you have to remember that those are areas that have been under intense international scrutiny for the last few years, the subject of lots of international diplomacy and negotiation. So it's incredibly hard to imagine that there would be something like that, something like a mass grave in that region without the international community being aware of it.
So, Mick, the U.S. has been warning about potential false flag operations. How do these claims match up with Russia's typical playbook here when it comes to justifying an invasion?
So, Kara, I think this demonstrates a very effective way to use intelligence, declassify it, to take, quite frankly, a lot of the steam out of an operation like this false flag operation, as you called it. If this is in fact it has done that, and I think the skepticism is justified, and I think that's what will be looked at.
So, MaryAlice, President Biden, as you know, we listened to him yesterday, is putting all responsibility for a potential conflict on Putin, saying that if Russia attacks Ukraine, it would be a war of choice without cause or reason. How's Russia responding?
Well, mostly saying exactly the opposite, saying that it is up to the NATO countries to roll back, that it has been the West, the U.S. and NATO that has been essentially encroaching on Russia's borders. They're sticking to those talking points that they view this as a moment of Russia needing to exert its own sort of borders and security, security and safety. You know, they're going to continue to say that they're not the aggressor in this, but it's been remarkable to see the NATO countries really sticking together and pointing the finger back at Russia, saying that it is only Russia that is building up troops in such an unbelievable way.
And Mick, as you heard Secretary Blinken there on GMA, he says that U.S. has seen no meaningful pullback of Russian troops and that they're continuing to mass at the border. So how could Ukraine, the U.S. and NATO respond to a potential invasion at this point?
So I think, you know, one of the key aspects of warfare is deception, and that is main element of the Russian way of war. Maskirovka is what they call it. So we shouldn't trust anything unless we can verify it. They have troops there that spread over 11 time zones. If we start seeing troops that are in the farthest east time zone leave, then perhaps we would take that as an indicator of de-escalation. But I think everything we're seeing is that they're escalating. They're bringing in large logistical elements, support elements like field hospitals, things that are needed to support a large-scale invasion. And I do think they need more troops, quite frankly. They're at 150. I think they need at least 180 up to 200,000, especially when it comes to an occupation, which is usually a 3-to-1 ratio is needed by the occupier. So I think we should be looking at key factors and key activities and not taking anything at face value. But I do think that they need more forces there to do a full invasion. And I think we should be looking for that.
And finally, MaryAlice, you know, our Terry Moran is there on the ground in Ukraine and is talking about this National Day of Unity that the Ukrainians have called for, all gathering within the square, really trying to show a force that they're going to remain strong.
Absolutely strong, defiant, and that they're willing to protect their borders. You know, I was in Ukraine this last spring and was struck by that, how quickly Ukrainians would be willing to talk about their willingness to fight. It's something most countries are grappling with on a day-to-day basis, but Ukrainians have been for years. And I think that the show of unity today was largely a way for the Ukrainian government to try to get people not to panic, to not be paranoid, and to stand together.
Mick Mulroy and MaryAlice Parks, thanks so much.
Thanks.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.